All right, you're welcome back. Glad to have you back. Research has shown that without deliberate and concerted efforts to address Nigeria's spiraling population growth, it will pose a critical roadblock to efforts to improve the living conditions of the average Nigerian.
That is true. Well, the United Nations says Nigeria, the 7th most populated country in the world, would become the 3rd most populated country after China and India, overtaking the United States by year 2050. By that year, it is estimated that Nigeria's population will explode above 400 million.
In 1960, Nigeria's population was estimated to be 45.2 million people. That's double the size of Lagos presently. Now, in 2015, the estimated number of people in Nigeria had grown to 82.2 million, 182.2 million. That's a 300% increase in only 55 years. In those same number of years, the population of the United Kingdom grew by only 20%. Now, in contrast, 2015 GDPs of United Kingdom and Nigeria were $2.9 trillion and $481 billion respectively. Of course, 2.9 trillion being that of the UK and 480 something being that of Nigeria.
Well, what this means is that as the population of the UK grew, so did her economy. Resources and even infrastructure grew to match and cater for her population. But the reverse was the case for Nigeria, where her population exploded, her economy took a nosedive, and the resources and even infrastructure to maintain the population depleted.
Now, currently, according to the submission of the National Population Commission and the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's population is about 193 million. In 2015, it was 182 million, and in 2016, it was 186 million. It is estimated to be 200 million by 2018.
Of the total population in 2017, there are about 98 million males with 94 million females. Well, with us in the studio is Lara Aluko. She's the Media and Communication Manager of DKT. Good morning to you, Lara. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, when we had you a month back, recall, we had a story as well, and then it showed that Nigerians are very, very busy at night. And with this information right now, it's pretty much the truth.
Yes. So basically, like I said the other time where we met, that it's not just that Nigerians are busy at night, Nigerians are busy during the day. So because
every time, 24/7.
Yes, 24/7. Yes, and because of the fact that you have some that are unemployed, so they actually need something to occupy their time with. And so because of that, so many of them engage in, the act of intercourse. And this intercourse, if you look at it, most of it are not planned. And also, another pointer is that this intercourse usually happens, amidst age grade of 15 and 25. You see the most unplanned.
A month back, recall, we had a story as well, and then it showed that Nigerians are very, very busy at night. And with this information right now, it's pretty much the truth.
Yes. So basically, like I said the other time where we met, that it's not just that Nigerians are busy at night, Nigerians are busy during the day. So because
every time, 24/7.
Yes, 24/7. Yes, and because of the fact that you have some that are unemployed, so they actually need something to occupy their time with, and so because of that, so many of them engage in the act of intercourse, and this intercourse, if you look at it, most of it are not planned. And also another pointer is that this intercourse usually happens, amidst age grade of 15 and 25. You see the most unplanned, sexual activities occurring between that age because, number one, most of them don't have what to do with their time. Most of them are not educated about how to manage their sexual health, their reproductive health. So, you know, because of that, they don't really know the implication of what they are going through. They just want to have fun. They just want to enjoy themselves. So basically, you know, the figures we're seeing, they are actually realistic figures.
And those figures are even more realistic in the rural areas.
Yes, thank you.
Which is amazing. But before I ask you my question, what is DKT?
Okay. Oh, thank you.
My producer wants to know.
Okay, so basically DKT, the full meaning of DKT is Deep Kamal Tiage.
Ah,
yes, is okay. Thank you. Is a name of a person that was the you know, the health minister in India that actually pioneered the use of modern contraception.
Okay.
Okay, but basically DKT is actually established by Chris Harvey. Chris Harvey is based in US. So yes, it is a privately owned social marketing organization, like it's an NGO. But what we do in Nigeria is to make available modern contraception, even in areas that you could hardly find, let me say, a health center. So what we do is to make sure that modern contraception are available. We make sure that maternal, you know, reproductive health products. That's what we do. We distribute it in Nigeria.
Okay, good that you cleared that out for us. But does Nigeria really have an overpopulation problem, or a problem of underdevelopment, or do they go hand in hand?
Well, let me start by addressing the first question, that do we really have overpopulation problem? Yes, I would say yes, we do. If you look at the facilities that are available, the amenities, the question is the amenities are not enough for the number of people that, you know, that we have currently. If let me cite an example. Go to the popular bus transport system in Lagos. In the evening, you're coming back from work and you see just a bus, and you see a crowd of 300 people queue in to take that bus, and they're going towards the same road. So if that is happening, if you see, like Fela would say, 99 standing, 50 sitting. So you can imagine, you know, that is enough to tell you that we have overpopulation. Visit the schools, and you see the number of students in a class.
But people will point to China, for example, 1.2 billion people.
China, India.
For some reason, they're able to just, you know, manage themselves.
They were able to plan. They were able to plan for their population. You know, we're talking, you know, when you were giving your expository, you were talking about United Kingdom. They were growing pari passu their economy. We are not growing that way. We are growing in population, we are not growing in economy. And if you look at also the average age, people in our population, look at the age of people that are from 6 to 15. To teenagers, let me from childhood to teenagers, we have more of them, and they are depending on the economy.
Okay, so would you rather suggest that Nigeria at this point adopt the China policy of one child per couple?
Which it has reversed now.
In 2015 anyway.
Well, I would say we actually need that. We need the government to help us. We need them to save us from ourselves. Because every time you come across a woman that is pregnant and you are asking, why, madam, you just have a baby, the baby is less than a year and now you are pregnant. She's telling you it's a mistake. She's telling you I did not know. She's telling you
even that it's God who gives children.
Some will even say that all the gifts of the Lord in my belly, I must bring them forth to the world.
Well, we must bring them forth to the world with wisdom. And that is why we have modern contraception. That is why, despite the fact that God wants us to procreate, you know, I usually try as much as possible to avoid the religious part. But the truth is, this same God that says you should multiply, that says you should procreate, also gives man wisdom to actually develop teams that will help you procreate at the appropriate time. Even if you are not looking at that part, let's come back home. Let's look at the health of the woman that is giving, but that is popping out the babies. You know, WHO recommends that for a woman in between birth, you should have 2 years spacing. It's not because of anything, but because of yourself. Pregnancy takes a lot from a woman. And for your body to come back to the, you know, default setting, like I would say, for it to go back to the setting it was before you give birth, then you need to actually rest. So a situation whereby you are not resting, that is why we have the issue of maternal mortality. That is why we have women, you know, dying during child, because the body did not, you know, we didn't allow the body to recover, to rest. Before the woman will get pregnant, you are still nursing a baby that is crawling, you are pregnant again. And you know, so many of them will even do jobs that are tedious. So tell me, how are they going to survive when they want to give birth to the next baby? So, you know, like your question, we need the government to actually help us, to save us from ourselves, to save us from killing ourselves. So if there's a law in place, because what we usually, you know, understand so much in this environment, when government says do this, people tend to, you know, to abide by it. So if you're giving us a law, if you're saying, okay, you must, in a space of maybe 10 years, this is the number of kids you can have.
But do people really abide by some of these policies or laws that come from government? The challenge of enforcement is always there. 1988, for example, the IBB tried to come up with this one woman for children policy. That was dead on arrival, and I wonder why it failed.
Okay, so now when we are talking about these policies, the first thing we need to do is let's get the stakeholders to buy into the policies. If my pastor, if my imam, if my traditional ruler, if they buy into the policy of the government, it will be easy for implementation. You know why? They are the closest to me. I see them as my role models. I believe in what they say. So when they are bringing home that policy, you know, I can see it. I can understand why it is.
But it is quite a sensitive issue because the childbearing really in the country to some ethnic groups ascribes some form of worth of importance in the society to them. So telling people from such a tribal extract that they should limit themselves to a particular number of children could somehow generate some form of friction in the society. Okay, so now let's now look at the other part of it, the opposite part of it. If they are not helping us, women are dying. Women are dying, seriously. Maternal mortality now, in the world, we are number 3 in terms of the number of deaths of women. So that is one. Unsafe abortion is happening. You have it on a regular basis. It's happening among the youth, it's happening among the teenagers. That is happening. So a situation whereby a woman gives birth to 6, 7, and she died at the point of giving birth to the 8th. Who will take care of that 8 or 7 she has left behind? So we need to actually, that's why I'm saying that we need to, by the time the stakeholders are given the picture, let them see what is happening. They themselves know the number of deaths that is occurring in their community. They know that some women are losing their lives. They know that some children are even dying under 5 because they are not well taken care of. So let's explain this to them. They are going to be part of the policy. It's not that government is just going to wake up. We are going to call a stakeholders forum. Let's sit down. How can we help ourselves? Bring your opinion, let me bring mine. Then we agree at a conclusion. And that conclusion, we all take it out and we implement it.
Isn't that where public enlightenment and orientation really comes in? But let's even look at the flip side of the youth population of Nigeria, for example. About 65% of the population, you know, is youth. Is it possible that Nigeria can actually use this particular age or demographic, you know, for its own, you know, for positive...
To its advantage.
To its own advantage.
Okay, thank you. If we look at the 65% you are talking about, the youth, let's categorize them by age. How many, you know, what is the percentage of that 65 that that we can actually pick and make use of to develop the economy? Because if we are talking about youth, please take out the ones that are depending on the parents, and that's from 18, 19 downwards. They are still in school. They are still relying on their parents to pay school fees. They are still learning one thing or the other. So let's now look at from 20 to 35. How many of them are employed? How many of them are even employable? That's another part.
So it boils down to the country's development not growing the same space like the country's population. So looking at the active population of the country now, the youths, how important is it really to engage them in sex education? Because that is another way really to let them be aware, because we are in a society where sex is seen as a taboo really when it comes to parents discussing it with their children.
Okay, so I want to say that, number one, we need to make it an active duty at home to actually educate our youth about sex. Not just sex, give them the needed contraceptive knowledge that they need to know. When you interact with some of this youth, they tell you, our parents, the only thing they tell us is abstain. What's the other option outside abstinence?
No,
they never give us another option.
Because no parent wants his kid to go out.
But the truth is,
promiscuous.
But the truth is, they are actually going out. They are actually doing it without telling their parents. They are actually doing it amidst themselves. Gather 20 of them, engage them in a meaningful conversation that this is confidential, it's not going out, it's between me and you they will wow you.
So it's a reality that we need to face.
Yes, with the realities. So, parents need to stop living in denial. We need to face reality. We need to, tell ourselves that we know they are doing it. So let's give them the needed weapons. Let's give them the needed knowledge that they need, to live their life out there. You are not in school with your kids. You don't go everywhere with them. So don't let them keep going to their friends to get, the friend that doesn't even know much is educating someone. But if you, the parents, can educate well enough, then I believe we'll have a better society.
Then again, it means the parents too have to be educated because you can't give what you don't have.
What you don't
now,
have, yes.
There's a perception, general perception, that this overpopulation is a result of illiteracy and ignorance. I know families where, both parents are very well educated, but you have a woman actually having 12 children. In Uganda, we hear of the story of a woman, a 37-year-old woman
yes.
has 38 children. And, things like that. Now, how do you begin to educate the educated that they are really the ones who are causing the problem of overpopulation?
Okay, thank you. That is why we need more information, more program, more awareness about the issue of sexual education, reproductive health, contraception. If you look at it in our Nigerian society now, look at the media. I can count 1 or 2 programs that are related to reproductive health or contraception. And that is why at DKT, we felt there is a need for us to actually take the message out there. Let the people know. Let's on our airwaves, let's talk about this thing. Let's bring in medical experts. Let's bring in users. Because when you interact with these women, they even tell you that, no, I don't want to go near contraceptive because of side effects. And you realize that most of these side effects are actually perceived. They are not real.
Speak to that. Speak to that. It's important, there's misconceptions around contraception.
Because the media has not been doing so much. We left the issue of knowledge about contraception to word of mouth. And, from generation to generation, we've been passing across messages that are meat and not fat. We've been passing across misconception. But now that if we can have more programs that will educate, then you realize that people will ask questions. On TV yesterday, I actually did a program on contraception. And we had about 12 calls. Of that 12, 6 male called. My wife needs to do modern contraception. Where can she go to? I was amazed. I said, okay, please go to the nearest clinic closest to you, both private and government. Ask for the family planning unit. Somebody said, no, my wife did one method. She's been bleeding. She's been this.
The actions, exactly.
We decided to take out the method. And I said, see, what you are avoiding, the truth of the matter is, because they are modern contraception, because they are not part of the body, the same way our system will react to pregnancy, which is why you have the first trimester, worrying so many women, you are sick, you are this, you are that. The same way the system will react to any device, to any injection, to any tablet that is not part of it. But we usually educate that most of these things, most of these effects, they are just a reaction of your body. With time, it will do what? With time, you'll be fine. So, we usually say that don't worry. When you're having some of these challenges, go back to the healthcare practitioner, go back to the, to the hospital where you did it, and they will educate you. And that brings me to the point where we have the medical people not even properly educated.
You know what? I think we still need to keep you. I might have to defy. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there. But there's so much. So much that we have to talk about because this is a very, very interesting issue that should not be taken lightly.
And contraception, because they are not part of the body. The same way our system will react to pregnancy, which is why you have the first trimester, you know, worrying so many women, you are sick, you are this, you are that. The same way the system will react to any device, to any injection, to any tablet that is not part of it. But we usually educate that most of these things, most of these effects, they are just a reaction of your body. With time, it will do what? With time, you'll be fine. So, you know, we usually say that don't worry. When you're having some of these challenges, go back to the healthcare practitioner, go back to the, you know, to the hospital where you did this, and they will educate you. And that brings me to the point where we have the medical people not even properly educated.
You know what? I think we still need to keep you. I might have to defy. Okay. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there. But there's so much, so much that we you know we have to talk about because this is a very, very interesting issue that should not be taken lightly at all. You know, like government even identified the high population growth as a risk factor in the economic recovery and growth plan of the government. So that in itself could render it, you know, almost unworkable. Well, we'll have to say thank you so much, Lara Aluko of DKT. It's time to bring you the news.